Hi guys, welcome back. This is Stacy from Fashion Revolution, and today we're going to be talking about newsletters with Sharman Levy. And she is the president of the Ethical Network of San Antonio, and she's also one of us. She has her own sustainable fashion brand, Blessed Design, which you should totally check out if you get a chance. And Sharman, you have a lovely presentation prepared. I'm just going to let you take it away.
Yay! Okay. Let's go ahead and get my screen shared here. So today we're going to be talking about designing impactful emails in Google Docs. There are several platforms that you can use to create newsletters, create really nice emails. But I'm going to show you in Google Docs because one, it's free and it's really easy. And those are the most important things in life, in my personal opinion. I don't know how y'all feel. So the few things that we're going to be going through today is just a little intro into email marketing. Why you need this skill, how to build your email, and we're going to be doing some demos, and then we'll be creating an email template after building these new emails.
Yay!
Yay! So number one you need to know is that email marketing is not dead. It's something that people say that it is dead and that you don't really need it because of social media, but it's not dead, and it's really important. Number one, it is the most cost-effective marketing method that you can possibly have. I know we, talk about social media and all that stuff, but it has a 40% more effective conversion rate than social media. It's at 66%, which is much, much higher than anything you'll get off of social media. The biggest thing is that you are going to be reaching a much more likely customer base. Like, these are people that have already connected with you. They've already either bought from you. They, have gone immediately and directly to be more connected with you. So these are the people that you really, really want to connect with. And then the other thing is that 90% of people check their email every day. So if you can get in front of them through their email, you're good to go. So this is just a little quote that I like to talk about, having a small list that's, hold on, I can't even see the list myself. Okay, having a small list that wants exactly what you're offering is better than a bigger list that isn't committed. So even if you have just a small email list, having small amount of people that are coming specifically to hear from you is so much better than having thousands that don't really care. So why do we need to learn this skill? Okay, you need to learn it because, number one, while there are tons of platforms out there, not all of them are free. They're going to cost you a little bit. And even the ones that are free are not quite as flexible as you may like them to be. The other thing is, if the emails are coming directly from your email account rather than a third-party platform, they're less likely to get tagged as junk mail. Are going to go straight to your clients' email addresses. And then the other thing is that you can personalize them a lot easier by doing it through this method. So this is just a quick example of some of the more popular email platforms and how much they cost. So you can see that it could cost you a few $100s a year in order to use these platforms, and they're going to be somewhat limited. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I understood that people use these platforms like Constant Comment and stuff is so that it's not spam, because when I try and send out to more than about 20 people, a lot of people don't get my emails if I group them together. So if you're using the Google or Google Mail, Gmail, I guess.
Yes.
How do you work around that? That's my question.
So that is true. These platforms are really good for that. Usually when I'm using Google Docs, I'm using it to send out very specific emails to a smaller group of people that I want them to be branded, and I want them to be really nice looking rather than just a wall of text.
So you mean it's 10 people you're sending to or something like that? I guess I don't understand.
Yeah. So it'll be 10 or 20 people So, okay, here, let me move to this. So this is like, these are the platforms that we use for our organization. We use Wix, and then we use MailChimp as well. We kind of go back between the two. But these are the limits of these platforms, is like, one, that you can only send 3 free campaigns a month on Wix. We have to usually send a lot more of that, especially when we're getting into our market times. MailChimp, you can only send it to your entire list, or you have to like go in and create very specific segments in order to send it to very specific people. So this method is really going to be useful when you just need to send like a few emails. Like if you are going to be sending a massive amount of emails, yes, definitely use these other platforms that can help you get around that.
Yeah, but then, okay, and back to those, but those all cost money. So if you have like a mailing list, if you have a mailing list of say 100 people that over time, have expressed interest in your work, you still would be working with these free platforms?
Yeah, you can still use MailChimp with like a list of 100, and you can use the free version of it. But again, you're going to be limited to like who you can send it to, and it's a little more difficult to personalize things.
Okay, so with MailChimp, it's like everybody better be a client, or it doesn't make sense to send it to them because maybe they're another designer colleague, and that doesn't, you mean you can't personalize in that way? I'm guessing I'm trying to understand.
So it depends on the type of email that you're sending. Like if you are trying to send out an email about an event, maybe, like that could go to your entire list. If you want to send something specific about a product that you're making and you only want to send it to people that have bought from you previously, you can, in MailChimp, create like a little segment of like customers, maybe made that be that label, and you only send it to them. But if you only want to send it to customers that have bought like a specific type of item that you think they'll need, things get a little harder, right? So, or if you want to send just an email to one person, you can't do that with MailChimp. So that's where we're getting like into a couple of limits. So if you're sending a lot of emails, definitely use, a platform like MailChimp or one of these other ones, even though the other ones you have to pay for. But
okay. And then so Wix and MailChimp, are they interface with your own email system, right? Like, so if I'm on Gmail or Outlook, I can use these. It's not a whole different email system, right?
Yeah. So what you're basically doing when you set up the email. So like I'm saying Wix because that's our website is through Wix. And so that offers you just a little leeway there. But what you're doing is going in there and basically saying like who this email is coming from and the email address. But even when we've done it through MailChimp, we always send the email to ourselves, and Gmail will flag that sometimes. Because it'll be like, hey, that says this email came from you, but I don't think it actually came from you. So, and the other thing that we struggle with sometimes is anybody with a Gmail account, oftentimes these emails end up in their promotion tab and not in their regular tab. So that's a little something else. Like when it comes directly from our email, it'll usually go straight into their inbox rather than one of those little separate tabs. Talk building your email, like what you need to think about. And that's kind of what we were talking about, Stacey, a little bit, is like why you're sending out the email, needing to know that what you're wanting. So we have that as our purpose. You need to know who your audience is. Like, who are you sending this to? What is your message or story? Like, what are you trying to convey? And one of the big things is making sure you're staying on brand, which is another reason why being able to do this in Google Docs is very helpful, so that you're not just sitting like this wall of text. You can brand it, make it look good, make it really pretty. And then, of course, you want to know what's your intended impact, like what it is that you want people to do or to get out of this email. Like like I said, if you were inviting them to an event, you want them to RSVP. If you are trying to like put a product in front of them, you want them to like, go buy that product or at least go look at it, right? So I'm going to show you guys how to do these do these emails in just a few little steps. So one, you're just going to open up Docs, open up a new document there. Step 2 is just to create tables and add elements. That's the big thing here. And then step 3, we just copy and paste it into your emails. And it's demo time. Woohoo! So, hold on. Let's move over to Google Docs. Can you guys all see that? But if you're over here and you see this the menu of Google
Yeah,
Apps.
the little menu, the app menu.
Mm-hmm. And then you can usually find, I'm like pointing to the screen, like you can see me pointing to the screen. But
yeah, just scroll down and point to your file. Maybe I can figure out where it is. I just don't see.
So this is the thing. You want to get into Google Docs first.
Oh, that's what's missing. Okay, so I go into Docs and then into File.
So you're going to go into Docs and then you're going to hit on this blank.
Plus blank. Got it. Okay, great.
Let's go ahead and go to Insert. And we're going to insert table, and we're just going to do the 1 by 1 and just click on that first square. Now you can go into Format here, go to Table, and we're going to scroll down to Table Properties. And we're going to start with the table border and hit 0 points there. And then we're going to go to the second column, go to Table Alignment, and then hit Center. And then hit OK. And so then we're going to get started from there. So the first thing that you normally do would be like insert your logo, right? So I'm going to go to my drive because I know my logo is in my drive. And I am going to, okay, I'm going to double click on that. We're going to size it appropriately. I'm going to format that by center aligning it, and I'm going to make it just a little smaller. And then we're going to hit enter and go down to the next line. And now we have a thing. And then we're going to insert another table. And that's the easy thing. It's super repetitive. And so you always know exactly what you're going to do, right? And so format, you could also right click and go to table properties as well. And so the easy thing about this, it's already got that for you. And going to the next thing. And I'm going to center align this as well. I'm going to make it a little bigger because I know it's a title. And I'm going to bold it just because I feel like it. And I'll make it a different color just because I feel like it. Oop. And that is my nifty title. And so now, again, we're going to go back in, insert the table. And here I'll right click. Is that my dryer? Go to table properties, get rid of that border. And I'm going to insert an image. Now, this time, I don't necessarily have the image that I want. And so I'm going to go ahead and just search the web for an image. And I'm going to type in like waving. I want to see somebody waving. Oh, look, they got a lot of flags in here. So this isn't necessarily, oh, hey, this is a cute little image. Let's do it. So, okay, so now we've got our little image in there. I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller. And again, I want to center that. And so now we're going to just add in some more text just to make it a little more interesting. We're going to go back to a normal font. And I'm going to leave it like this. I'm not going to change it quite yet because I'm like, see if you are available tomorrow. Okay, I'm totally can't type, can't spell. That's okay.
I can never do those things when people are watching.
JS for dinner at where you guys want to go. Where are we going to dinner?
An Italian place.
Ooh. How about Maggiano's? Do you guys have a Maggiano's over there?
No, but that sounds good.
Okay. So you could type all kinds of like fun things in here, right? And how I do it sometimes is I just want to, I don't always format my tables right away just because I want to be able to see everything and what it's doing and what's happening. And so we're going to act like we're just doing that right now. And I don't know why I just hit that button. But I'm going to tab out of this. What did I do? Okay. Hit the over arrow button to get out of that. And then I want people to RSVP for this, right? So we are going to insert another table. And I'm going to make this one a button. So we're going to hit in our RSVP. I want to center that. And I am going to now format this one. Take out the border, but I'm going to change the background color and we're going to make it like green. Because why not? And since everything is already centered, I just want to like close in this button. And the nifty thing is that it's going to kind of go with your text. So if you make it smaller, your button is going to get smaller as well. And then there's several things that you can do to format that if you want to close up some of the spaces. But we're just going to leave it like this because we're like nice and cool. I'm going to over arrow to get out of that. And then say, you know, you're a business and you're inviting people, but you also want people to stay in touch. I'm just going to make that a little smaller. So we're going to say, hey, stay connected. Because, and I totally did not put in my table. And yes, I see a hand. What's up?
So my question is, because I wasn't watching because I was toggling, how did you make that a button? Did you make it a URL link or are you just sizing it?
So, yeah, so I did not create the URL for it right now.
Okay.
But you would. You would basically just, sorry, I have this tendency that I will create what the look I want and then go back and format everything.
That's fine. So
yes, thanks for reminding me that I did not.
No, you're fine.
Did not do that. So here you would just like highlight everything and click that link and, you know, it can be whatever. You can put your link in here in this little search bar, or a lot of times, depending on what you're doing or what you've written in there, it'll come up with something. So it's giving me a bunch of documents that I could link to. We're not going to do anything. I'm just going to like put in that address there. And so of course it changed the color because it's like creating a link too. But the fancy thing is you can still reformat that and you can take out that underline. You can put that color back to what it was. And it's still a link, even if it doesn't look like it. Okay. So now we're going to do a little more than we've been doing because we've just been doing this whole thing with using like one-on-one tables just to format everything. But you can very easily use multiple tables in order to do different things. And one of the things that I like to use it for is to create all my social media links. And so like say we have 3 different social media platforms that we use. So I will insert a table now with 3 cells instead of just the one. And then I'm going to go back in here, format this, make sure everything is centered, take out these lines just because this can mess me up just a little bit.
Is there any way to like have it default to always make no
No.
border?
No. I have played around with that so much, but no. And I know like it can get tedious, but for me, it helps to be able to visualize everything. And so even though I did it up here where you can go back through and take it all off, sometimes I leave them just so that I know exactly what I'm working with. And so here we're going to go search the web. And we're just going to look up like Facebook logo. And I want it in black. So we're going to do that there. I'm going to make it a little smaller here. And then we're going to tab over into the next next one there. We're just going to take this and we're going to do Instagram. Insert that one in there. Make that about the same size as much as you can. Tab to the next one. Insert your photo from the web. And what's up? Well, let's do Pinterest. Okay. I'm like, that wasn't as easy. Not as many of those. And so then you can do the same thing here though with okay, and this is part of why I like to see all my lines. Okay. So we're gonna close this just to bring all these a little closer. You can, of course, take all that and distribute the columns so everything's even. But you can play around with this. Of course, the thing here, again, a lot of things are not automatic. You just kind of have to like do what you do. And then you would do the same thing that you would do with the RSVP button is just make these links to your social media things. And then you can go back through and, which we're going to do now, and get rid of all your lines so that it's ready to copy and paste. Hey, okay. So I'm just gonna Command or Control A to select everything, and then Command or Control C to copy and paste. And then we're gonna head over to Gmail. Now I'm using Gmail. This method does work in like Outlook, Hotmail, Microsoft Live, whatever email. I do not know about like Yahoo or anything else, but for the most part, this works everywhere else. I did hit compose, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay. And so we're just going to go in here and paste, and then everything is in there all nice and beautiful and nice and formatted, even though we did not center this, but that's okay. But you can definitely see any problems that you might have had. And Ta-da, there you go with that. So now let's head back to.
So for recipients,
Mhm.
how many can you put in here before it turns into junk mail?
I don't know. That's going to depend on the different email servers themselves. And a lot of times it is going to depend on the person that you're sending it to, their settings. Because sometimes if they have never received an email from you, or if they don't have you in their like contact kind of thing, it's going to junk mail regardless. Let's go back. Let's go back. Okay. So here is what we just did. If you guys want to screenshot that. I know we never did do the page setup. I didn't go back to do that. But this tells you can do either the A4 or the B4. I often use the A4 just because it's more suited to mobile, and a lot of people tend to be on their mobile phone. Yes.
Okay, so I have no idea what you're talking about, A4 and B4.
So that
And
was
where
that was in the file page setup that was not there, that Laurel said would be there as soon as you type something in, and I just never went back. So did you want to
okay, so
go
do we
through
need
it?
to,
Can you find it?
No, I don't understand the importance of this.
So it's to format the paper size and the file size so that it fits into the email in a way that will be easily viewed either on a computer or on a mobile phone.
Okay, and there was some setting for it that we didn't include in what we just did that we should know about. And A4 and B4 are size options that Google provides?
It's in Google Docs. It's in the paper size. So when you go into file, you go to page setup, and then within page setup is your paper size.
Okay, gotcha.
It defaults to like a typical paper size, the 8.5 by 11.
So the
it's not going to hurt you that badly.
The same thing. The printer gives you. Okay.
This is just a little. The A4 is just a little bigger, and the B4 will be even more wider if you just want more space. But again, A4 tends to be optimized for mobile. And so, yes, this is all everything we did in there.
Are you going to
everybody get that?
Yeah. Are you going to talk a little bit about content or like what to put in our newsletters?
Yes. So first, we're going to talk how to save time with these templates, or by creating a template from what you just did. So first step, of course, is just copying and pasting that document into your new email. And then step 2 would be saving that draft as a template. So then if you needed, you can use that over and over and over again. And so we'll go back now. And okay. I'm going to go back to the email, pull that back up, and show you guys how to create that. So if you're in Gmail, what you're going to do is click on these 3 little dots down here in the bottom right hand corner for your more options. You're going to go to templates, and then you're going to save draft as template, and then you can either overwrite one here or you can save as a new template. So we're going to save that. And we're going to save it as our party time. And so that way, we're just going to close this out. But anytime,
could you also save it in Google Docs as a template there?
So it's already going to automatically save in Google Docs. So this is like it's not going to show up here. This is like the wrong email, really. Let me get into our info at Ethical Network email. So we have people that are like apply all the time to be members, and it's really difficult again to send just that one email through our other methods. So we go in here, and this is one, especially if you have a team, it works great if you have more than one person in your emails. So when they see that email, they're like, hey, okay, this person just applied, or they got accepted. So I can go into this template, type in this, your business application was received email, and everything is like right there ready to go. And they don't have to do anything. They just do that. They put in the email, and it's all branded, great and beautiful. And so we have, that for several different things. We have a similar template for, here's our membership welcome email again. Like once they've been accepted, here's that whole email that's in there. Somebody can just pop in there and they're ready to go. But the great thing about the templates, though, if like you said, hey, we want to personalize this a little more, everything is already formatted. So I can just go back in there and be like, hey, Charmon, just to make it a little more personal, and then send that out. And it's still got everything that you had originally, created. So that's the best thing for saving some time. Going back. Okay. So that's the wrap up from there. If you guys want to screenshot that or look in that. Now, this is what you're asking for, Stacey. Here is your hot tips for creating your emails. So, one, you want to think about your copy, just what you're writing in there. You want your copy to be consistent with your voice, with your brand. And newsletters are very different if you're just doing, kicking stuff. If you are, trying to get people to do something, you want to stick with as few topics as possible. One is optimal, but, try to keep it, don't give them too much to think about. Images, you want to choose really relevant, eye-catching images. For instance, I chose that little baby waving because we're talking about like, hey, how are you? If you are trying to invite somebody to a party, you don't necessarily want a picture of like, somebody in the rain crying. That's not going to be extra relevant. Just because it's a gorgeous photo doesn't necessarily mean that it should be in your email or your newsletter, right? And again, if you, this is a really good thing, probably somebody else, I don't know if anybody else is ever just talking about branding, and knowing who you are as the brand is really important in your copy and in your images and what you're putting out there. And so when people see stuff, they know it's coming from you. They're like, oh, yeah, that's Plus Designs, we know. Your CTA is your call to action. So when I talked about, you want to think about the impact, the thing that you want your person to do. This is your call to action. You want to make that super clear. You want to make it stand out. That's why we did that RSVP button. Like, this is what we want you to do. And we're making it a completely different color. That is, I didn't brand it greatly in our practice, but we want it clear. We want it to stand out. We want you to know exactly what it is that we want you to do. We have this little button to make you do it. And we're just going to tell you right there, this is what we want you to do. So if you're trying to like push a product or something, then you're like, hey, shop here or look at this now. You want that super clear, exactly what you want everybody to do. And then your timing. Timing is really important. You need to know your audience best, but and sometimes that takes a little, a little playing around with things. But there is a study that says that Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern time is like the best day to send an email. Again, that's going to depend on your audience. We have found with our newsletters, like Fridays at like 4 or 5 p.m. Central time is the best time that everybody's like opening their emails, which is weird because we would think everybody be shutting it down on a Friday at like 4 or 5 p.m. But apparently they're all super excited to get an email from us at that time.
I think they want to know what's going on this weekend.
Maybe like, that's it.
I'm planning my weekend. I'm opening my email.
Yeah. So I'm like, that we found that to be like the most active time for people to open their emails for us. But again, you have to know.
Now, how did you know that? How do you know when people are opening your emails?
So we know that because we send our newsletter through MailChimp. So that's how we know that. But when we do like these emails tend to be a little different. When you're doing them through Google Doc, you don't necessarily know. But you can like see things based on behavior, right? Because if you're sending them to a website or you're sending them to look at something, like usually you'll have analytics there. And if you're sending them to your Instagram post, you'll see your Instagram analytics there when people are showing up, when people are engaging more. So sometimes you have to look at other platforms. For us, especially, we notice, like when we're doing things like this, we notice when they're paying for things. Like when that email comes through, like, hey, this person has paid for this. We know that they have like opened up that email or looked at it. Because we're like a business and have like a Google suite, we can look and see like who's received it when it's been opened up. Yes.
So this question's about MailChimp. You said it was free. Can you show us that interface? I mean, what is it? Is it an app you download or is it a website you go to? How does that work?
Both. So yeah, I can definitely show you that. Hold on, let me give me some more tips though. And then we'll head over to MailChimp. Sweet. Okay, so mobile. So that's one of the good things about using Google Docs though, is that it helps using your Gmail account. Most email servers in general are already optimized to make sure that your email is going to look good on desktop or mobile. They're already doing that for you. So using that is helping you out a lot, right? But also then using that A4 format when you do your page size will optimize that as well. Personal. So you want to make your emails personable. You want to make them friendly. Think about, I'm writing to my friends here. These are people who like me and I like them. And I don't have to have this like super staunch, stern, really impersonal email. You want to engage with them. You're like, hey, I like you. You like me. Buy from me. So, so you want to do that. So your subject, you want to use really clear language. Again, it should be actionable. You want them to do something. Make sure you know exactly what you want them to do. And it should be enticing to make them. And again, you want to make sure your subject, and this is the subject line in your email, not the copy, but the actual subject line. And you want to make sure it aligns with the body of your email. So again, if my subject was, like come to my party, like we want to make sure that's what your email is about. Asking people to come to your party. And then of course your branding, you want to, add a signature, your logos, your colors, everything in this email, in your newsletter should say who you are and what you're about. And most of all, I have at the end, I'm like, most of all, you just want to stay consistent. Consistency is key, always. And then, of course, that's all my ethical network stuff. And then our questions, which we've been going over. But let me take you over to our MailChimp. Okay, I need to move some stuff around here. So I will be honest with you. So we are communications person set this up, and the person that does the newsletter hates it. So I feel like I should just, not everybody loves this platform. It's not exactly intuitive. It takes a little work and a little patience with yourself. So this is our dashboard here in with the Ethical Network. These are the people who are going to receive the actual email. We have so this is not necessarily everybody that has signed up, but this is everybody that has like opted into the newsletters. And this just kind of tells you our last open rate, how many times it was delivered. We had like 3 clicks. The open rate was 50% though, which is really good. So a good number of people opened it. Not everybody clicked on everything, which is fine. But everybody opened it. Not everybody opened it. So this basically tells you that. So this is our audience. So you can see we have a few more people in our contacts than our actual newsletter subscribers. This tells us everything, like how they're signing up, where it's coming from. These are, like I was talking to you in the beginning about the different tags that you can add to your thing. So these are some tags that they have put in here with like 65 people, I think, signed up directly for the newsletter. We have 21 okay, this is not correct, so this has not been updated. Clear with our number of vendors. I don't know when the last time this was updated, but anyway, you get the idea, because I'm like, those numbers are not correct at all.
Mostly, how do you use it? Like, what's the
so this is our audience. So that's why I'm like kind of going through this thing, because it's not the most intuitive thing. So here are our campaigns. So campaigns are what you're using to create your emails. So up here in the upper right hand corner, you can create a campaign. They have emails and different things that are already ready for you if you want to go. But here we'll just like design an email. And so then you would title this email. This title is not what's going to really be seen. Okay, my computer is being really, really slow right now. Close some thingies out here. Okay. Nope. Edit name. Okay. So you do that. Here again is your contacts where you subscribe. Your subscribe content, it's automatically going to put everybody in there. Now you can edit some of these.
You said it automatically puts them in from where? Like, I have to manually enter them here?
You can't. Okay, so there's multiple ways. We have some that are manually entered. We also have them coming from our website. It's connected to our website. And so anytime somebody subscribes on our website, anytime they sign up or RSVP for an event, anytime they contact us, send us an email, they get added to this email list. So this is connected to our website. So I can choose one of this pre-created segments, or I can do this. So this is already set up. It's coming from Katie. This is where you would add that subject that I was talking about. And then this is your content, your design for the email. So then you would go in here, design your email. Yeah. Okay. So this has a bunch of like featured things that you can already kind of use. Again, see, you'd have to upgrade to use this. That's when they want you to pay for stuff. But these other ones that we could just use on our own, we have some that have already been created. But you could easily use as based off of what you're trying to do. So, here you want to make an announcement. You'll click on this. And it has everything kind of formatted in here. And stuck our logo in there. And then you go through, no, I don't want to take a survey. And you would click on this and hit this little edit button. And that allows you to come in here and
so this is,
change text.
You can't import your Google formatting into this. You have to recreate it in here.
Yes. So this is a whole different platform. So the Google Docs is something completely different.
I have one question about that.
Yeah.
Say you do a smaller email and it performs well, so you want to transfer it over here. And I know you can't import your entire document from Google Docs, but you could copy and paste over the like writing and the copy and whatnot, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then that would still be formatted when you copied and pasted it over. You would just have to put it in the new tables.
Yeah, so you would just like put in different little things in here. Or create your own. And they have like all these little, the text, box text. But again, I'm saying it's not intuitive. Like our newsletter person doesn't love this platform at all. But they do make it pretty easy. Like, I don't want to say like dumb it down for you, but you can just like use whatever's in there if you're not comfortable really doing stuff. I think she wants more hands-on and more capabilities, so she doesn't love this particular thing. And so Google Docs works a little better when she's doing things. But yeah. Anything else? Oh, I'm just now saying I couldn't see the chat before. I'm gonna stop sharing. There's the kitty.
Hi, Elena.
Hey.
Anybody else have any questions?
I think mine are
I'm
going
just
to arrive
checking out the
late.
chat, too.
I did love it though. I have a lot to think on.
I think that no, I don't have questions. I feel like when I go and try and do this, you're going to be getting little text messages.
Right.
But we have the video. We can replay it. I still have yet to set up my Google profile, so I'm at least like a couple videos behind. And
I just watched that.
Yeah, that was a great presentation. This was too. Thank you so much, Sharman. This was just totally wonderful information that every one of us should be thinking about if we want to develop our, a relationship with our client base. I think that's really what it is. It's like, I don't know, somehow to me, social media feels impersonal and email feels a little bit more personal. I don't know. When it looks so slick and professional, I'm not sure it'll feel the same way.
What the studies from the experts that I listen to and follow say is that email marketing is still where it's at. Like in general, it's how you connect, and that's what people are looking for, especially with so much social media in the world and so much fakeness. And so thank you, because I've tried to use MailChimp before and it drove me bonkers.
See, okay, you're another one that's like...
Yeah, it drove me bonkers, but I know Google and I never, ever, ever thought about doing the emails the way that you're suggesting. So that will help me deal with my smaller groups of clients, like my brides and things like that. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, so I just really love doing info shares with each other. I'm really excited about that, and I just want to thank Sharman one more time for this. Yeah. And our next info share is going to be from Elena. She's going to talk to us about vintage sewing machines. So we have both info shares that are strictly on the business side, but they're also on the educational side of what we're doing. So thank you so much, Sharman, and we'll see you guys all next time.
Yay!